Most bizarre events of World War II. World War II was a time of unimaginable destruction, massive military campaigns, and global conflict. But hidden beneath the headlines of battles and diplomacy were some of the strangest, most shocking, and utterly bizarre events in military history. Events so extraordinary, they're hard to believe. But they happened. Let's dive into these tales of deception, defiance, and pure madness. The Japanese balloon bombs. In 1944, a quiet menace was drifting across the Pacific Ocean toward the United States. Japan, desperate for any advantage, launched the Fugo balloon bombs, one of the strangest attempts at psychological warfare ever conceived. These large hydrogen-filled balloons, carrying incendiary bombs, floated over 5,000 miles across the ocean, aiming to ignite wildfires across the American West. Over 9,000 balloons were launched. Though few hit their target, they killed 6 people in Oregon, the only civilians to die on the U.S. mainland during World War II. These bizarre, silent weapons caught everyone by surprise, but the horror of a bomb from the sky made people uneasy as fear rippled through American communities. Mad Jack Churchill, the man who went to war with a sword and longbow. War is modernized, right? Not for Mad Jack Churchill. While others were armed with rifles and machine guns, Jack Churchill marched into World War II battles with a Scottish broadsword swinging by his side, a longbow slung across his shoulder, and even a set of bagpipes. Jack's daring exploits seemed ripped from medieval times. He famously made the last recorded longbow kill in combat. At the Battle of Dunkirk, while surrounded by German forces, he rallied his troops by playing the bagpipes. Churchill once said, "Any officer who goes into action without his sword is improperly dressed." He fought with so much courage that his legend still echoes across history, defying modern warfare with the audacity of a knight. The Ghost Army. Deception tactics. Imagine a fake army, made up not of soldiers but of artists, actors, and sound engineers, deceiving the enemy with inflatable tanks, fake radio transmissions, and entire divisions that didn't exist. This was the reality of the Ghost Army, a secret U.S. military unit tasked with tricking the Germans into thinking they were facing overwhelming Allied forces. They could create the illusion of a massive military presence where there was none. They saved countless lives by diverting German troops away from key battles. Their deception during Operation Fortitude, part of the D-Day landings, is now legendary. The Germans never saw through the act, proving that sometimes illusion can be deadlier than force. Hiroo Onoda, the soldier who refused to surrender for 29 years. For 29 years, Hiroo Onoda, a Japanese soldier, believed World War II was still raging. Stationed on the Philippine island of Lubang, Onoda refused to surrender, despite numerous attempts to tell him the war was over. He and his fellow soldiers raided villages, living off the land, convinced that Japanese forces would come back for them. Not even leaflets or radio broadcasts changed his mind. It wasn't until 1974, when his former commander came personally to relieve him of duty, that Onoda finally laid down his arms. His dedication to a long-lost cause remains one of the most remarkable and bizarre stories of the war. The German general who defied Hitler, Dietrich von Choltitz. In August 1944, as Allied forces approached Paris, Adolf Hitler gave a terrifying order: destroy the city. Every monument, every building, every bridge was to be reduced to rubble. But the German military governor, Dietrich von Choltitz, couldn't bring himself to do it. He defied Hitler and surrendered Paris intact to the Allies. Von Choltitz's refusal saved one of the world's greatest cities, and his act of defiance remains one of the most dramatic moments of World War II. The City of Light was preserved, and von Choltitz's name would go down in history for his rare and courageous stand against the Führer's insanity. The Battle of Los Angeles, false alarm, UFO invasion. The night of February 24th to 25th, 1942, was surreal for the residents of Los Angeles. In the early hours, anti-aircraft guns lit up the sky, firing at what was thought to be a Japanese air raid. Searchlights crisscrossed the heavens, and for hours, the city was under siege, or so they thought. But in reality, no enemy planes were present. Some speculated it was an unidentified flying object, a UFO. The Battle of Los Angeles sparked panic, and to this day, what truly caused the alert remains a mystery, leaving a legacy of fear and confusion during an already chaotic time. Operation Mincemeat, the deadly decoy. During World War II, the British were masters of deception. One of their most audacious plans was Operation Mincemeat. In 1943, British intelligence dressed a corpse as a British officer, planted fake invasion plans on him, and let the body wash ashore in Spain. The Germans found it, believed the false information, and diverted their forces away from Sicily. It was a bold and bizarre ruse that fooled Hitler's top brass and contributed to the successful Allied invasion. Operation Mincemeat was a masterpiece of misdirection and is still regarded as one of the most cunning deceptions in military history. Simo Häyhä, the White Death. In the frozen forests of Finland, Simo Häyhä became known as the White Death. Armed with just a bolt-action rifle, Häyhä is credited with over 500 confirmed kills during the Winter War between Finland and the Soviet Union. He preferred to operate without a scope, relying only on iron sights in brutal sub-zero conditions. His deadly accuracy and ability to vanish into the snow earned him a fearsome reputation among Soviet troops. The sheer numbers make his story almost unbelievable. One man, against impossible odds, became a one-man army. The Siege of Leningrad and the cannibalism crisis. The Siege of Leningrad, lasting over 900 days, was one of the most brutal and horrifying sieges in history. Cut off from supplies, the citizens of Leningrad endured starvation so severe that cases of cannibalism became widespread. Over 1 million people died from starvation, cold, and bombardment. Yet despite the unimaginable suffering, the city never surrendered to the German forces. The survival of Leningrad is a testament to human endurance, but the horrific conditions faced by its citizens remain one of the darkest chapters of the war. These stories are not just footnotes in history. They're moments of strange, shocking, and sometimes surreal events that define the unpredictability of war. From secret armies of inflatable tanks to soldiers who wouldn't surrender, World War II's bizarre tales are a reminder that even in the darkest of times, the strangest and most unexpected things can happen.